Hey everybody, welcome back to Day 3, Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Roth Edition. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, SFuels, Right Fuel, Right Time, Master Spas, deboer Wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, our Challenge Athletes Foundation Hour. And next guest, Annie. Is it Annie or Ann? What do you prefer?
Annie.
Annie Reischmann. Yeah. So how long have you been in the sport? Did you start when you were like a kid? What happened?
No, I started doing track and field, but then I got injured quite a lot. So I had to pick up.
That's not a surprise, yes.
And I had to pick up biking and swimming just to stay fit.
Right, basically for rehab.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I signed up for a triathlon just to keep motivated because it's not fun training without
Yes.
having a goal.
Yes.
And I really loved it. And since then, I've been doing triathlon races.
You know, I've heard that from so many, right? I think.
Yeah, it's not a
Chelsea
unique story.
Sodero, but no, because you get so many track and field coaches don't implement other things in there. It's just if you're a runner, you just run.
Yeah, yeah.
Now looking back on it, if you were able to swim and ride, you probably would have stayed healthier for track.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I'm running a lot better now, running less than back then.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. So when was your first try?
So it was 2016.
Okay, which one was it?
It was German college champs.
Okay.
Well, it's not to be compared to US college champs, to be honest. It's a lot lower quality, so that was my first race.
And how'd you do?
I think I came 5th, I think, yeah. So
you
that was
loved it.
fun. Yeah, that was really a lot of fun.
Now, when you were a track athlete, what was your distance?
I kept switching between 800 and 5Ks and steeple one season, so I didn't really find my distance.
Yes.
But I loved doing all of them pretty much.
Steeple.
And cross country was also a lot of fun.
Well, cross country and steeple, man, there's nothing more brutal, especially steeple.
Yeah, yeah.
But did you ever have any weird things happen in the pit, in the water pit?
In training, I completely fell over it. I think I closed my eyes trying to step on it and missed it, which was really stupid.
Into the pit, right?
But that only happened once.
Yes.
I learned from that.
Usually it only happens once.
Yeah.
That as well. So then the coming along and obviously becoming one of the best in the sport, was there a race that you did where you're like, okay, I think I could be really good here?
I think it was 2019, the 70.3 World Champs. It was my first year racing professional, and my big goal over the whole winter was to qualify for that race. Yeah. And then I managed to do that, and then in the race I came 20th.
Yes, you did.
And that was like really mind-blowing to see that I can be in the top 20 in the
best
world.
in the world.
Yeah, so that was really amazing. And since then I kept starting to believe more and more I can actually be good at this.
So the interesting part of that, 2019, you have this great race. Okay, then COVID hits.
Yeah.
Right, and the world all shuts down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes that can give you can put training together because there's no racing.
Yeah.
Is that what you did? You just started to focus on, okay, this is a new sport for me. I just had a great race. Can't race, so might as well just focus on swim, bike, run.
Yeah. So I think actually that for me, who's just started with the sport, it was actually quite good to get lots of time for training. And I also changed coaches in the middle of 2020. I wouldn't have done that if there would be a normal racing season.
You're right, yes.
And that really gave me a good push in my performance as well. And I felt a bit sorry for like the people who were already at the top, who worked really hard the previous years and
lost that year.
Yeah,
lost
exactly.
2 years basically.
Yeah. So, but for me as a kind of rookie still, I just used the time for training and tried to catch up, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the luck of the draw because we had certain people who heading towards Tokyo who were so ready for 2020, and by 2021 they weren't.
Yeah.
And then others who 2020 they never would have made the team. And by 2021 they were back in China. So it's things
sometimes a bit unfortunate and sometimes
a
bit lucky depending on whose perspective.
So in 2019 you're 20th in the world, in 2021 10th in the world?
Yeah, so that was I couldn't believe it.
Yes. Well, and the cool part about this is now all of a sudden, I mean, you're doing podiums. ZLMZ gets second and third at 70.3 Switzerland and 10th in the world. So all of a sudden things are clicking. Are you feeling like, okay, now I can be one of the best in the world?
I'm starting to believe it more and more. I think a very important race was also Singapore this year.
Yes.
Where I wasn't far off the podium.
No, you were at Singapore. You were 6th.
Yeah.
And it's so funny when we look at the PTO races the last number of years, and now the T100. Someone will see a 5th or a 6th, and I'll go, oh, 5th or 6th. You're like, That's a world championship, right?
Yeah,
Every one of these is a world championship because you got 15 to 20 of the best women in the world. When you get sixth in a race like that, you have to be very proud.
Yeah, I was really happy, and also seeing that the gaps are not as big anymore. And it's just on a good day, like you're in a competition for a podium, which is pretty amazing.
Well, now am I looking at this right? Was your first full? Was it Portugal?
No, I did Cozumel in 2021.
Okay.
That wasn't really prepared, to be honest. I had a lot of crashes that year and just wanted to do something fun at the end.
Oh, I see some DNFs from crashing. What'd you hurt?
I broke my elbow in Elsinore, and then 6 weeks later I broke my hand in a training crash.
Yes.
So that was a very unfortunate.
For swimming and riding were a problem.
Yeah,
being comfortable
especially
on the
swimming
bars.
was bad.
Yes.
And swimming is not my strength anyway, so I really can't miss out on it.
You can't afford to lose that much time.
No, but then I did Cozumel at the end and
got fourth place.
Yeah, but it was a struggle, to be honest. That race, never do an Ironman not prepared.
Hard to fake an Ironman.
Yeah.
You have to be so ready. Sometimes 70.3 you can be a little bit off. You can't be a little bit off in a full. So then Portugal, second in Portugal, a 54-minute swim, 4:54 bike, a sub 3 hour marathon, 8:55. You come away from that feeling what?
I was so
Over
happy.
the moon?
Yeah. And also because I knew I'm qualified for World Champs in Nice.
Yes.
And then I knew I can do Roth, and I can be fully prepared for Challenge Roth here because I don't have to do an Ironman before that to qualify.
That is so perfect.
That's really great.
That is very. So you qualified for Worlds for Nice for this year. Now, do you like that type of course with a lot of climbing and a lot of descending?
I think it suits me as a stronger bike rider because the group dynamics is not as important as, for example, in Kona.
Yes.
And I've been there in Nice and checked out the course, and it's really nice.
Will you do some another training camp leading into that, or do you feel you know it now?
I feel like I know it quite well.
Yes, yeah.
I might go there a bit earlier.
Just that couple of days earlier that week.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you're here at the most important triathlon in Germany, Challenge Roth, and you've got Annie Hogg and you got Laura Philipp, and it's an all-star field. Are you excited, nervous? How are you feeling?
I'm mostly excited.
Yes.
I think the nerves gonna kick in on race morning then, but so far I'm quite relaxed and very excited to finally get going. It's been a 10 weeks training block for me preparing for this race, so the preparation was really good. And I'm just excited to see how close I can get to those girls.
Now, is this near where you grew up, or what part of the country did you grow up?
I'm from the south of Germany.
Okay.
But it's still a 3-hour drive.
Oh, so you'll have family coming.
Oh yeah, they're all coming.
Oh, they're all coming. How many family members are coming?
So my mom, dad, my sister, and my brother. Unfortunately, my sister, she's in Africa at the moment, so she's not coming. But her boyfriend is coming, so that counts half. And then an aunt and an uncle are coming as well.
Now,
my in-laws are coming as well.
Oh,
so all of them.
So were you when you first got in? Were you in college?
Yeah.
And what were you planning to do?
I was becoming a teacher.
Okay.
For sports and
a
Latin.
PE teacher. Yeah.
And Latin, so that was a bit a strange combination.
Wow.
But to be honest, I never worked a day as a teacher in a school. So after college, I went to triathlon.
Right. But you knew you always have that fallback.
Oh yeah, I mean you can always go back to a school. It's not something you have to start in your early 20s.
Now when you're going to school and parents are like, okay, you're going to school, you're going to be a teacher. Oh, I think I want to be a professional athlete. What was the response from family when they're like, they feel like, you know what, you're young, go for it?
Yeah, they were really supportive and just said, if it feels right, then just try it, give it a go. I was planning on taking 2 years to see if I actually like it.
Yes.
Because sometimes, obviously it has a lot of advantages, but the pressure is a bit different than just racing as an age grouper, and I wasn't sure if I really enjoyed that, but I did, and obviously the results were coming as well, so I knew, okay, I can actually do this a bit longer than just 2 years. And now it's been 5 years, and I'm not planning to stop.
So how have you been balancing, because you've done like when you do Singapore T100, it's hot, very fast, high intensity, and then something like this, as you're going to be out there for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult to balance both, but we have very good examples who do well in both races, both formats. And before Singapore, I was just trying to get the speed done.
Right.
But I mean, Singapore was at the beginning of April, and now we have July, so there was a good amount of time in between to also get the longer stuff in. And
right.
It's only my third full distance, so I really have to be. I'll put a lot of work and time into training for the full, and that I'm not just going up all out like in a T100 race.
So will you also do Taupo at the end of the year, 70.3 Worlds?
I qualified, and I'd love to.
Play it by ear a little bit, see, because it's a long season.
Exactly.
You were racing, like you said, April, right?
Yeah.
April, that's December.
Yeah.
Hard to stay healthy all that time without a break of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really nice to have the option for a big race at the end of the year. You never know what's happening in between.
Right.
You can crash, and then you miss out on the big races in the summer, and then it's really nice to have a big race in December.
Well, you're in such a great position because you've qualified for both, right? You're in for 70.3 Worlds. You're in for Nice Worlds. You don't have to do anything. You can go race whatever you want. So
lots of options. That's what I like.
Options is what it's all about. How have you changed as an athlete over this last year or so?
Oh, it's a tricky question. I think I got a lot more confident, and I started to believe a lot more that I'm good at this.
Yes.
At the beginning, I was maybe a bit shy, and also trying to find my way in the races, and just getting more and more confident that I can do this.
And you're all healthy now after those crashes.
Yeah, I've never, the last, knock on wood, never had an injury other than the crashes in the last 4 years, so I've been very consistent in training. That's starting to pay off as well.
So when you talk to your friends from track days and they've all been injured and they're done with the sport, and you're now racing at another level, running probably less than you did back then.
Oh, a lot less.
A lot less, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were talking to track coaches now, would you be like, listen, you need to change what you're doing. All you're doing is creating stress fractures and injuries, where if you were having people on the track with stationary bike, you don't need to put them on the road. Put them in a pool, running in a pool, swimming in a pool. Your athletes would do better. Yeah,
I mean, not every athlete is the same. So maybe for somebody who works running a lot of volume, but for a lot of people it just doesn't.
Right.
And then I think as a coach, it's really important to see what does the athlete need, and each athlete is just different. And for me, less running volume worked a lot better. Yeah.
I remember Gwen Jorgensen. She swam and ran at Wisconsin, and then when she was approached to become a professional, to go potentially be an Olympic triathlete, she was running way less and running faster. It's wild. Triathlon is a great sport for the track guys, and they just don't know it yet. Annie, such a pleasure to spend time with you. Thank you so much for your time. And have a great race on Sunday. And you'll be looking, that's Annie Hogg, and that's Laura Phillip, and I belong here.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bob.
You're very welcome. Annie Reischmann has been our guest. Again, Breakfast with Bob Challenge Roth edition. Hold on. We'll be right back.